After 741 days, I'm finally going home. The adrenaline of booking flights, purchasing gifts, and making checklists quickly subsided. It didn't take long for the excitement to fade into anxiety. Returning home after being away for so long feels kind of rough. It somehow felt like a sign of defeat above all else. For the longest time, I resented my parents for premeditating my life. Then I tried to take over and escape to another country where I was truly free. But now that I have to go home, a wave of insecurity washes over my mind. Though my return was not permanent, I felt conscious of being in the States and in the same cities and spaces where the miserable version of myself came to fruition. I was scared to confront the people I once left behind, friends, family, or just my old room, where I used to hide from interacting with the outside world, where I sought out various outlets for my clouded mind, where I daydreamed about an alternative reality, where I didn't have to be ashamed of my lack of accomplishments, where the eldest from an Asian family could pursue what she wanted. While I was away, I dreaded being on the phone with my parents. With every call centered around superficial things, my joy from sharing my life abroad quickly reduced to small nods and I don't knows. I'm not sure. I didn't know how long I would be here. I didn't know what my career would pan out to be. I did know that I did not want to return home. I didn't want to be a living proof that my attempt to reroute was naive and fruitless. Yet, my mother's sudden diagnosis and her complicated health backgrounds, coupled with the natural completion of my work contract, plus the unwanted buff from COVID, ultimately drove me back home. I needed to make sure that my family was okay.
如果我不在了，你最想念我的是什么？
啊？什么意思啊？
我不在人间了，你最想念我的是什么 ？What do you miss the most?
With everything still the same, well, maybe a few stolen things from the closet, my muscle memories began to resurface. I didn't want to face the inevitable. I didn't want to have the talk where I would have to reestablish my boundaries, redefine my parents' wishes, and disappoint them once more before I disappear through another terminal. The weight of just having this conversation lingers in the back of my mind, draws out the oxygen in my brain, and ferments the original purpose of this trip. It took a few days to recalibrate my mindset. I was fixated on the situation, letting it take control while ignoring the bigger picture. I should appreciate being able to share those moments as it is, apart from my fear of confrontations. After all, I didn't fly all the way out here to be burdened by my emotional baggage. My return should feel like a homecoming, not a performance report or some KPI score of my time abroad. Coming home should be a celebration of a safe voyage in whichever direction I pursued. It may seem fruitless to some and bountiful to others, but regardless, it was my expedition venturing into the unknown. That alone deserves to be celebrated. Perhaps what I have been running away from, or the limits I've subconsciously imposed on myself, the do's and don'ts I have been mindlessly reciting without truly having control over my life. Because who's to stop me if I truly wanted something? Coming to terms with those discoveries was not the easiest to digest. But isn't that the point? To tap into the possibilities outside of our comfort zone, to break away from the norms. I needed to confront those fears and get over them to unlock a new side of me. Even if the conversation with my parents doesn't turn out in my favor, it's still a win. I should stop expecting them to accept my choices. I wish to be respected, but it's not necessary to reach my goals. It only serves as an ideal. Not all surfaces will grant us an echo. The walls in my room are indifferent. I guess so are my parents. Despite everything that has transpired between us, I still have a lot of love for my family. And with the inevitable decay of health and time, I can't afford to be on a losing streak to realize these moments, these chances are irreversible. I want to make this trip count, to make every reconnection meaningful. Because you never know what the world will rid us with. You never know when will be the last exchange before the Thanos of our age decides to snap his fingers. So, before the unpredictable consumes me whole, I don't want to regret it the same way I already have before. Nothing really matters except for the time we have right now with each other. And maybe, just maybe, homecoming doesn't have to be so bittersweet.
1, 2, 3，恰恰恰恰
Cheers.
What chair?
The one.
不要苦瓜，
Why?
因为苦瓜苦。
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. 再加一点。
So when you got carded, ma'am can't see your ID. ID? I am her ID. You say what? E is left, R is right. Okay, ready? E, R, E. Okay. Hey, let's settle stuff. Let's put this on the fridge.
大的小的，
你好。
不是大的，是小的。然后都是一样的。
来，看看我们的手。OK，羊肉。
You have a PS4 too, you know.
I don't have a monitor, you know.
Yes, you do.
I don't. Come on.
PSA, don't forget to tell your loved ones, I love you today.
Julie, Colin,
SZ.
yes.
That's your YouTube channel.
Is it really?
It is.
What kind of content do you do?